Kickstart summer at Lowe's with Memorial Day savings on major appliances like the Smart Whirlpool Top Load Washer, featuring the 2-in-1 removable agitator in a color you'll only find at Lowe's. Take it out for bulky items, leave it in for a more thorough clean. You can customize any load, plus skip steps with the Load and Go dispenser. Simply add detergent once and skip the refills. Memorial Day savings start now at Lowe's. Shop in-store or online today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
Hey, this is BJ. Thanks for listening to our show's podcast. If you're a fan of all things geeky, you should check out my other podcast, BJ Shea's Geek Nation. We have new episodes every day, and you can check it out at bjgeeknation.com.
Your driver's license is important so you can get back and forth to work, get your kids to school, and back and forth to daycare. If your license has been suspended because you can't pay your tickets, you can't do any of those things. Let's talk about Chapter 13 bankruptcy. You may have heard that tickets cannot be discharged, but they can be dealt with in a Chapter 13 case. Why not come in for a free consultation? The chapter you choose will make all the difference to your getting back legally on the road. Let's design a plan to pay off your tickets and restore your license immediately. I'm attorney Travis Gagne. Please contact me today at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com.
99.9 KISW, the Rock of Seattle. Motley Crue's Nikki Sixx recently did an interview where he shared a great story about how the co-author of his new book tracked down his first girlfriend. And she knew Nikki by his real name, which is Frank Farana. I did not know that.
Yeah, and it had to have been here in Seattle because he grew up in Queen Anne and lived out here until he left for Hollywood and Sunset Strip to become a rock star.
How about this, man? She did know him, but she had no idea, because she knew him by his real name, Frank. She had no idea what he did after they broke up.
A co-writer, Alex, he called me and he said, "Hey, Nikki, I found your first girlfriend, Susie Maddox. I was 13. He said she's like in Utah and she's married." And so he calls and he goes, "I'm working on a book about Frank Farana." And she goes, "Oh, I remember Frank." And she goes, "Oh, well, what did Frank ever end up doing?" And he's like, "He's in a band." And she's like, "Frank's in a band?" "What band?" "Motley Crue." Dead silence. And she goes, "I had a Motley Crue album in my hand one time, and I looked at the photo and I go, that looks just like my first boyfriend, Frankie." And she looked down and said Nikki Sixx, so I shouldn't even buy the record.
That's awesome. He was doing it with Eddie Trunk, who we've had on our show before. That's cool.
Wow. I mean, so at least she did. She saw the similarity, but then looked at the name and, okay, that's not Frank. Because, the name is Nikki Sixx. Wow. And it turns out that was her old boyfriend.
What if her husband's like a massive Motley Crue fan and then just finds that out? That'd be kind of funny.
That would be, yeah. That would be bizarre. 13 years old though, man. Gosh, that's like lifetimes ago when you think about it. But how cool is that, man? Do you think they tracked her down?
Do you think your first boyfriend or girlfriend would be surprised or not? How do you think they think your future ended up? Like, if we've tracked down your first ever girlfriend, do you think she'd be like, "Oh wow, yeah, I totally could have seen BJ ended up doing radio for his entire career"?
Yeah, nobody was surprised because all I did was talk. So yeah, my first girlfriend, my first real girlfriend, the girl that I took to the prom, not my cousin.
So your cousin, gotcha.
Yeah, she found out. I haven't spoken to her, but I remember somebody said, "Oh yeah, I talked to your first girlfriend," and she's totally not surprised that that's what you're doing for a living, because I wouldn't shut up growing up, so they were just like, "Yeah, it's a perfect gig for you."
Yeah, I'm trying to think if I think it would be the flip side. I think my first relationship would be shocked because they'd be like, "Well, you really didn't talk." So that was probably would have been one of those things where it's like, "Wait, you're making a living off of talking? You never talk to me."
Steve, it is, yeah, right. Dude. And I don't know if the rest of the show wants to say this or not, but I mean, for the most part, I would say outside of Danny and me, The whole show doesn't really talk a lot except when the mics are on, especially you, Steve. You are the biggest, my brain goes, I don't understand how he does it. I know him, I see him, I leave him alone. We chat, but it's like no long any conversation. And then next thing you know, the mic goes on and you got stories and you're compelling. And it's just like, yeah, I would be surprised too. I'd be like, that guy is all those things.
That. I mean, it's very debatable what the nice things you said. I do appreciate those things.
Oh yeah, I tell everybody. They go, so tell me about, because we have to do interviews or whatever. Or people go, tell about the people of the show. Who's the biggest surprise on your show or whatever? And I go, dude, I have to tell you. I mean, Steve does everything really good behind the scenes. He was always that guy. He could produce and he had great ideas. And I said, what always surprised me is you put him in front of a microphone and I always never expected much. And then all of a sudden you're just like, where did this guy come from? Like he's just, and then when the mic is off, it's like, all right, let me look.
I got to chill again. I'm drained. And I go home and my wife's like, you all talked out? I'm like, yep.
Yeah.
Talk to you tomorrow.
Yep. If you want to hear me talk, babe, listen to the show. It's on Odyssey.
How was your day?
So
go check the podcast.
It was good.
Yeah. It is so true. I think, for the most part, Rev is like that. Vicky is like that. Vicky doesn't say much. Danny and I, well, on the other hand, if we go to lunch, it's like, well, who is going to stop talking first is usually the big question.
Whoever starts crying. And that's
yeah.
But it's usually after a good 6-7 hours. So.
Yeah. You're just crying because you're like, I just want to go home and see Linda.
Yeah. That's I'm not surprised that would be a big surprise, Steve.
Hey, I got a random thing to bring up. It just made me chuckle. Because yesterday we were talking about gentlemen's clubs and whether or not they can provide lap dances.
It always comes back to the gentlemen's club.
Well, it just popped up on my Twitter feed.
I see what you did there.
I didn't even know. Someone retweeted it. I was like, I didn't even know I was following this gentlemen's club. Do you guys know, was it Sugars in Seattle? Isn't that on Aurora?
Yeah, it's up in Lake City. Everett?
Yeah,
is it Lake City?
No,
okay.
I think Honey's was the one up in Everett, and that one went away.
Yeah, you're right.
But didn't it become Sugars? Did Honey be? I don't remember. Maybe Sugars is Everett. I've never been there. I'm just trying to figure that out.
Sugars is on Aurora.
But where?
In Seattle.
In Seattle?
Yeah.
Yeah, that's not I think Honey's was Everett.
So it's like Shoreline.
Okay.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Oh, yeah. It was across from the casino. I thought that place closed down, too.
Well, maybe they're opening up again because now they got the new Kraken Community Ice Center. And what better thing to do after you skate around an ice rink is to go to a strip club to warm up.
Yeah, of course.
I just found this funny because they just said tomorrow on their tweet, Sugars will be open to entertainers and the public for a meet and greet at noon before our grand opening on Friday.
Oh, yeah. Looks like they reopened up.
There's nothing more I want to go to than a meet and greet at a strip club. That sounds amazing.
So
that does sound amazing.
Right?
Sugars is where, if you remember that sign, the dancing bear used to be.
No, I don't.
It had you think Dancing Bear, the pun and stuff. It's the girl with the martini and everything. Yeah, it's in Northgate-ish area.
Is it right by a pizza place? Is that?
Yeah, actually, I've been to that pizza place. It's pretty good. I used to work down the street.
Danny, let's get a slice.
A slice and a
Some
slice.
pizza pie.
Go to the meet and greet.
Yeah. MEAT or MEE?
I don't know. I was going to ask you, which one are they doing?
They spelled it with 2 E's.
Yeah,
okay.
they did.
So that's probably not a mistake.
I just think it's great that Steve's getting these bulletins because,
This is somebody I know retweeted it. That's why.
Oh, I thought you said you followed them.
No, but I mean, they just
now
earned
I do.
Yeah, they just earned a follow.
Oh, there you go. All right.
I mean, how do you not follow a gentleman?
Congratulations,
You gotta help out the local
Sugars.
community. So,
people are having a hard time getting folks to, take new jobs, so it's nice that they were able to get some hires in there.
yeah, I mean, I won't be able to make it tomorrow, but I wish them nothing but the best.
Oh, yeah.
That's such a random thing to have, a meet and greet.
I wonder what that even is like. I kind of want to go just to see.
Right?
I mean, is it obvious what the meet and greet is? Is you meet instead of meeting the parents, you meet the puppies? I mean, I don't know. Or is it really going to be legit? Hey, how are you? And but there's not going to be any dancing. I don't know.
How about that? Sugars is Seattle's newest adult entertainment club. I thought they were around all this time.
Well,
I guess it's because of Honey's.
It looks like, they closed down in around 2014, and I found an article that apparently a church went up in their old spot for a little while. So I don't know if this is like a new spot or if they took it back from the church.
Congregations in session.
Talk about age-old rivals as far as trying to get people's attention.
Right?
Church and strip clubs, man, they're competitors. So it looks like the strip club won out.
Well, I wish him nothing but the best of luck.
All right, good for you.
That's so funny.
So random.
It was. That's why I had to do a double take. I'm like, am I missing something or no?
No, well, apparently you are missing something. You're missing the meet and greet.
Yeah.
Oh, congratulations.
Well, if any of our rockaholics make it, they could definitely give us an update on Friday morning.
Totally. Oh, good call.
Highly recommend it.
Yeah.
Hey, someone going back to the not talking after work. Someone said, I'm a bartender and I talk to people all day. I totally get not wanting to talk to people after work.
Well, you don't talk at all. I mean, that's, I think, just in general, not you don't talk at all, but you're not talkative. If somebody engages you in conversation, you're pleasant enough, but, you're a man of few words.
I hate small talk. If I know you, like, I'll be more than, I'd have a great time having a conversation. My wife always laughs at me because she's like, you're just the worst at small talk. Because I meet like someone who listens to the show. I don't want to be standoffish or rude because I do appreciate meeting them, but I just suck at small talk. That's why I hate it. I'm just not good at it. And then it gets to the point where I think they're trying to get away from me because I won't stop talking to them about stupid stuff. And I was like, you could have just said hi. I think that's all they wanted. But I'm like asking their life story, and I'm like, I just don't know how to do this.
Just take a page from BJ's book. Tell me about the relationship with your father.
Yeah, that's how you got to all go over great. Yeah, if they're crying, you've done it right.
Hey, Brad, nice to meet you at PetSmart.
Yeah.
Tell me about your relationship with your father.
Exactly. Oh, yeah. Next thing you know, he's punching a puppy. You're like, all right, did a good job.
Is that a euphemism? Do I need to Urban Dictionary that?
Well, you give it a shot. I'm sure it's in there.
Oh, texter want to know, hey, what about the other people on the show? Would their first girlfriends or boyfriends be surprised? Danny.
No, not at all. I'm actually really good friends with my first girlfriend still. So yeah, we've been friends since 6th grade, and she's known about my life this whole time. So I don't think she was surprised at all when I got into radio.
Right, and also there's been no zero lag time between the two of you.
Exactly. So, yeah.
Like for mine, it would be like, who? Wait, is there a restraining order lifted? I'm not sure. No. Vicky.
Like, it's funny because I think they wouldn't be surprised with the job I have now, but they'd be surprised at how much I don't like talking to people, like, in my downtime. Because I used to just not shut the hell up when I was a kid. Like, I was just jibber-jabber and everything. But I'm like, Danny, I'm still friends with my, boyfriend on Facebook and his wife. Like, it's not a big deal. But if they were to see me now in person, I think they'd be like, wow, I think I remember you talking a lot more. Yeah, I like being alone. I'm an old lady. Get off my lawn.
I think Vicky's similar in the sense of me. When you're around someone that you won't shut up. Yeah. And I don't mean that's an insult, but I mean you're conversational.
Right. And then I have this weird anxiety where I feel like if it's quiet, I feel like everyone's mad at me for not saying something.
You should yell at them all and be like, "Why are you all mad at me?"
I'm like, "Stop somebody start talking. You're all mad." My anxiety's through the roof. So then I start asking dumb questions, and then I stop because
you like pudding.
It's like, no. You could be any tree. What kind of tree would you be?
Oh, jeez.
Yeah, I get super anxious. It's like, can someone else just talk?
Yeah, okay.
Yeah. And then she punches us in the face.
Yeah.
One of these days, when we're far enough from this situation, Vicky, don't listen right now, but we should all just get quiet after she says something to see.
Oh, yeah.
What happens.
Man. Oh, yeah.
She starts laughing, and then it gets then she comes up with more stuff.
She might stab one of us.
Well, at least you're right next to her. Yeah. I've tried that, Steve, because I've noticed that's a thing, and she said it before. So if like Vicky and I are out having lunch or something, I will just be quiet and just see how long it takes. And then all of a sudden, and then Vicky goes into informational mode. Hey, did you know? And then she pulls the phone out. She's showing you memes. I mean, she can't just sit there in the silence. She's just like, what the hell's going on?
Pulls out a puppet. She's doing like a ventriloquist show.
Oh, I'll go all in.
She's got tap shoes in her bag. She starts doing tap.
And I know what's going on in her head. She's like, I like going to lunch with you because you at least will fill in the silence. So when I don't fill in the silence, you can just see the look on her face like, that's not the deal. You're supposed to say something.
I feel like I need somebody to just say, hey, you know what? We're just going to sit here in silence and look at our phones and enjoy each other's company without talking to each other. And I'm totally down for that, but I need somebody to tell me.
That sums up pretty much my friendship with all my hockey buddies.
That's sometimes all I want.
We every once in a while pipe in and say something ridiculous or like, dude, see this chick? And then back to just quiet again, playing on our phones.
Yeah, I guess because I'm, a different generation. I'm like, no, we're not going to do the phone thing. I mean, what am I doing here with you idiots if I got to just look at my phone?
I don't have to BJ. Everyone's on their phone.
Yeah, I know, but I'm the old school guy going, what are you doing? I mean, and now it's the watches instead of the phones. Now everybody's got the phones in the pockets.
The watches.
They're all on their watches.
All right, next time we go, I'll bring a notepad and I'll just write in the notepad the whole time.
Oh, I like that idea. I should do that.
He's going to feel like he's in therapy, though.
Yeah.
I'm
always in therapy, Danny.
Bar I could sit on.
Yeah.
All right, Rev, is your first girlfriend your wife?
No,
I don't mean as an insult.
No, it's a solid question.
In Arizona running a ring.
That wasn't
catfishing people.
That was about the extent of my girlfriendness ship stuff at like that age. Like if you asked me like my first teen girlfriend, I'd be like, "Hello, hand." Like that's all.
Oh, jeez. Is your hand surprised at what you're doing?
Yeah,
yours
hand,
too.
Yeah.
I think
Wait, what?
people would be surprised he's married, Steve. That to me would be the bigger surprise. Because ever since we've known Rev until his wife came along, he was Mr. I don't need anybody, I'm me, and I'll do it my way.
I'm Morrissey.
So I would be like, knowing Rev when he was first an intern, if you told me he was going to be married, I would have bet you money going, he'll never get married. He hates everything.
Oh, man, but you do know
he's going to share his life with anybody.
If there was a book being made about the Rev, they would have to track down that person.
Yeah.
The woman from Arizona.
And she would be like,
I can't even remember her name, and I don't even know if it was her real name at that point. I'm pretty sure, but I legitimately cannot remember her name right now.
I do want to hear her side of this story.
Yes,
like what in her mind was going on.
Yeah, actually, I would too.
Yeah. For all we know, maybe she was like DK Metcalf, and she just wanted a foursome.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. As much as I want to give as much as I want to give Rev grief, what idiot person thinks someone's going to move all the way across the country for non-romantic reasons?
But that's what I'm saying is I want to know her side.
Yeah.
She might be like, it might have been something completely different. And it's like, you didn't even know.
All right, we need to track her down now.
Man, that was like 24 years ago.
Nice.
I cannot remember
what
her
excuse
name.
could there be that this woman who basically catfished our poor Rev?
Poor Rev?
Well, yeah. I mean, look, if somebody says, I'm going to move to where you live, pick up my life and move to where you live, and she's like, oh, that's wonderful. We can be friends that are platonic.
That live together.
Yeah, come on. That's BS. I mean,
but we'll never know the answer if we don't find out her name first.
Danny, track her down.
I got to rack my brain on this one.
All right, we got to track her down.
Do you still have your same email account? Okay, can you bust into the old email account to find it?
No, that was a highly emo AOL account that I had for that one.
Oh, see, you should never get rid of AOL. Just like I'm still regretting mine.
I know.
Should never done it.
Was it Rev Loves Orgy 69?
It should have been.
Honestly,
I think it was based off of Korn lyrics, though.
Oh, Freak on a leash.
Yeah.
Oh, no. AOL.com.
That's it.
That's probably why. She's like, I found a freak on a leash.
Yeah. We got a recent study that was done on memorable firsts. And what do you think is the top memorable first that people would love to relive? Oh, you know I'm going to tell you. I'll do that at 8:20 on The Rock.
BJ and Migs, mornings on The Rock, 99.9 KISW.
Kickstart summer at Lowe's with Memorial Day savings on major appliances like the smart Whirlpool top-load washer featuring the 2-in-1 removable agitator in a color you'll only find at Lowe's. Take it out for bulky items, leave it in for a more thorough clean. You can customize any load, plus skip steps with the Load and Go dispenser. Simply add detergent once and skip the refills. Memorial Day savings start now at Lowe's. Shop in-store or online today.
Everything is better electrified. Like the guitar, toothbrushes, or cars. And Hyundai has the widest range of electrified vehicles on the market, including the first ever Tucson and Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EVs. You can use electric when you want it or gas when you need it. It's your journey. Evolve it beyond the pump in the 2022 Tucson or Santa Fe plug-in hybrid EVs. Visit your nearest Hyundai dealer or learn more at HyundaiUSA.com. Call 562-314-4603 for complete details.
We missed you!
Come here, kids. It's so good to see you again. Grandma and I have to catch up. Why don't you play in the other room for a bit?
Okay!
It's good to see you again, Mom. We all missed you.
I'm sorry it took so long. I lost a lot to my gambling problems, but I'm happy to have my life back with you.
We are too, Mom.
If gambling is creating a problem for you, call the Washington State Helpline at 1-800-547-6133 or visit evergreencpg.org.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu, certified to operate by Chev.
99.9 KISW, The Rock of Seattle. There's a new poll out, and turns out pretty much almost all of the people say there is nothing more memorable than experiencing something for the first time. And a lot
like
of those
Sour
folks,
Patch Kids.
Okay, well, you know what? If that's what you got on your list, if that's
I've been
it.
chasing that Sour Patch Kid dragon for years now. That first time you have them, your just mind is blown.
So delicious.
Yeah, 70% of people say they wish they could relive some of their favorite firsts.
So you said 71% of people are going to say they want to relive the Sour Patch Kid.
Yeah, they do. It's so crazy how lockstep everybody isn't with you. So they asked the people, okay, so there's nothing like the first time. What were memorable firsts for you then? And I thought I'd throw it out to you folks and see if you're on the list. It's like, what you think was the best first-time experience you ever had.
I'm trying to think of something that's like PG, of course.
Why?
Well, I mean, come on. That's like the easy no-brainer thing. I think for everybody is probably something that's like,
I would not want to relive that, though.
Yeah,
first time.
It's not on the list. What you're saying, Steve. There's a couple things close to that, but not, I think, what you're thinking.
Okay, I mean, that's fine.
I'm thinking, I don't think they edited themselves for this list. I hope they didn't. I hope that they were honest. Because
I got one.
Yeah, all right, what you got?
The first time, I remember being in a band, and that first time to perform in front of a live crowd. Yeah. And granted, it was the crazy, Crazy Country Club was the second time. The first time was at our high school. And it was, like after school, anyone who wants to hang out, oddly enough, we were a bunch of metal bands, some teetering on Satanist type bands at an all boys Catholic high school. It's like, you couldn't ask for a more weird, setup, right? But that was such an exhilarating experience. Like that first time, I remember we covered a Metallica song and just looking out in the crowd and, the 12 people that were there that banging their heads. And I was like, this is insane.
I guess, first concert, because not everybody gets to be in a band, but I'll put that in the first concert, even though you were playing the concert.
Yeah, I mean, it was the same for me. I'll go with Steve on my first concert. However, our first concert was terrible. We did it at a youth center, but just actually getting the nod from another local band to open up for them, it was this is amazing. On what you just said though, BJ, my first concert ever was The Offspring, and I do wish I could go back to that and just kind of relive that, seeing them for the first time and with all these people in a crowd where we're being shoved around. Oh, so great.
Yeah, seeing Motley Crue the first time, I remember just sitting there with my buddy Tom, who we just reconnected on Facebook, which I thought was once I saw his name pop up as a friend request, I'm just like, oh, Motley Crue.
Nice. Well, again, these are the first that are on the list. And so first concert's definitely on the list. How about you, Vicky? What's your first that you go, boy, I'd like to go back and relive that?
I think it would be just traveling by myself, being able to go to different places. I remember I went to Europe when I was 17 for a class trip, but then I went again when I was 24. And I just being able to go in a different country, having my own schedule. But I also kind of wish I could change up a few things, maybe bring things that were more practical. But other than that, I've just been really wanting to travel lately. I really want to go back.
First international trip, that's on the list too. So good for you, Vic.
It would be fun, if I could just go back and I obviously wouldn't have filmed it because that would have been awkward. But to be able to witness the birth of our child again. To experience that first moment.
Oh, interesting.
Now knowing Tatum for the last couple of years and seeing what she's become, to go back and relive this alien thing just coming out and seeing the world for the first time, that would be pretty fun. I'd want to be, though, almost sitting in a chair watching my wife and I have that moment, be able to witness it as an outside perspective.
Oh, yeah, like you're watching a movie or something.
Yeah, I wonder if nurses appreciate that kind of thing, or if that's one of the perks of the job. Obviously there's a lot of crappy things they have to deal with, but the perk of watching somebody experience childbirth for the first time, I wonder if that's a cool thing for them or if it's just annoying.
Well, that's a good. I mean, gosh, I would hope it's a cool thing since they have to, like you said, see so much negative stuff that happens to people in a hospital. Because usually when you're in a hospital, it's for a negative health condition.
Because I feel every person's childbirth thing is a different experience. Some it happens in minutes. Some it happens ours, 18 hours.
Well, and for me, I thought that I would never forget different details about it. But as the years, it's been almost 8 years that Lily was born, and it's there's certain things that I'm what? Did I cut the cord? I don't remember. And it's I wish I could go back and relive it. So it's oh, you get to re-see everything that happened.
Well, being a dude, I mean, the average man does not remember details the way the average woman can scientifically. So that's why I would love to be able, because I do forget a lot of those details myself too. I remember just because, Sarah looking at me in the face and screaming her head off. I remember little about Joey being born because it was like there was no drama. He just was like, "How you doing? I'm here."
That sounds very Joe-like. Hey guys.
Yeah.
Go Tom
Sarah
Brady.
Got here for the party.
Yeah, Sarah caused all the... He was born with a Tom Brady jersey, but we didn't know what number 12 meant at the time.
Gotcha.
It was really odd, but we were like, all right, well, the kid likes jerseys. All right, so that's... So we've got the first international trip, your first concert. Rev, how about you? What's something that you would love to relive as your first?
I think my first job, because it was like the first real job I had over the summer, and it was working as basically a gopher for a painter company. But it was just interesting because I thought like all of these people were so much older and cooler because I was like 16. But thinking about it, it's like they're probably just like 20-somethings just hanging out. And just to be able to look at that from that perspective as an older person now and seeing where that was.
Yeah, first job is on the list. It is on the list, and it's fascinating because I remember my first job, and there's no way I'd want to relive that. I was so happy to leave it at 15 years old. I was uncomfortable. I felt like, man, I'm the noob, and it didn't seem like it was very welcoming. And I wouldn't want to relive that again. That was not a fun. But I couldn't wait to quit that job. I just was like, can I go back to being a kid again? I don't know why I thought I wanted to do this.
Our first job was doing flipping the burgers on the boardwalk of a beach. Man, I would go back to that in a heartbeat.
Same with Dairy Queen for me. Yeah. I would go back in a second.
I'd come visit you in a heartbeat.
Yeah.
Though I did forget that I was a paper boy. I guess that was my first job. That was kind of cool. Wouldn't mind going back to being the paper boy again in good weather.
Yeah.
Yeah. Boy, the snow weather paper boy stuff was crap. Oh, did I hate that? Well, nobody talked about your first kiss.
No, I don't want to relive that.
Steve was sort of. I mean,
Jennifer cornered me in kindergarten. I don't want to relive that.
Oh, yeah. I mean, I think the first consensual kiss. Can we call it that?
Fair.
Yeah. I had two first good kisses. I remember with my first girlfriend and with my wife. They were good. At least I thought they were good. I don't know how it was for them, but it was good for me. I wouldn't mind reliving that.
It was good for me.
Well, I mean, that's what I'm saying. I can only speak for me. I like them both. Yeah.
See, but the question is do you go back and relive these with like your knowledge now, and you go back and relive it, and it's like, oh my God, this was actually terrible? Or do you go back and just relive it in that same like adolescence mindset?
That would be fun to be able to go back and give tips.
Yeah.
Like, yo, this is really what you want to do.
Yeah.
I just remember, and look, I don't know if you guys, the first time you're about to kiss somebody or go a little further, my body was like shaking. I don't know if you just know just how like every part of your body is just like on alert. And, the more you're with somebody, the more time you spend, of course, that feeling goes away. You never have that again, usually. But the first time with somebody, that feeling was amazing. Like, whoa, we're about to do stuff. And
the anticipation.
Yeah.
That's why I go on roller coasters now. I can't go through it with another girl. It's like you're going to go down a roller coaster.
That's a very random connection.
I'm serious though. Like that's that same like adrenaline that kicks through me that it did when I was like going to have my first kiss.
Yep.
Yeah,
I don't know. The anticipation of going up, and then it just all goes downhill.
Yeah, everything's aware.
Yeah, except the death part. I mean, when I'm on a roller coaster, I feel like something could go wrong and I could die.
Oh,
I mean, isn't that why roller coasters are scary? Because they're putting you in positions where you're like falling. I mean, and
it is for me.
Yeah, that's what. Yeah, I don't have that when I'm with somebody where I'm like, oh, hey, I can fall off this.
I got a good one.
All right.
It's not, I guess it's not
and these are memorable firsts that we're talking about. Memorable first times in your life that we're talking about.
It doesn't really fit then. Never mind. I was like the first time that I knew the Seahawks were going to the Super Bowl, but I already knew they were going to the Super Bowl. I guess we experienced it both times. Like the one time we were at the playoff game, and then the Seahawks ended up going when they went up against the Steelers. And then the other time was when they went up against and won it against the Broncos. Like I remember being at the stadium for both of those.
Yeah,
and those experiences were just like on a whole other level.
I mean,
more so the one where they ended up beating the 49ers with the tip because it was such a climactic ending that I would love to have relived that moment again.
Yeah, the first sports moment. If you're a big sports fan, that makes a lot of sense.
Just to soak it in and like really like look around, like because that crowd was just like all of us. I mean, unless you're a 49ers fan, of course, but like every Seahawk fan there, we're feeling that exact same emotion at that time.
Now, I am surprised this hasn't come up. Only because of the fact of how much you guys are what you are when it comes to animals. How about the first pet? A lot of people put that down as a memorable first moment for them.
I mean, it was all right.
I hadn't thought about that. You're right. Some of those first pets are like a goldfish. I guess you're right. Maybe the first real pet, the first
first dog.
Pet.
Yeah. When my brother came home with our first dog, I was just like, "This is incredible! Finally, years of begging, and we've got one."
What was your first dog's name?
Allie.
Aww.
Named after the Beastie Boys song when they go Alibaba and the 40 Thieves. Alibaba.
Oh, that's cool.
Yeah. So it was
Terry Blue Terrier.
Oh, nice.
She's badass.
Sounds like it.
And first car also is on the list, which I do remember my first car.
Yeah, I wasn't too impressed with my first car. It was just whatever my grandpa gave me.
I would love to have my first car back.
Oh, really?
A, to troll my wife because she would never want to step foot in it. And B, because the thing was just awesome and it was a tank. And I have so many great memories from it.
Oh, yeah.
I would like to have my second car back. My first car was a bit of a mess, but my second car was a Mercury Comet. And even people, and it had a hood scoop. It was fake, but it was a fake hood scoop. But it still looked cool. I mean, everybody thought, dude, you finally have a cool looking car. And it was gold and black. And oh, man. And it had some speed to it. And I almost I was trying to race somebody and I almost ran into a pole. And I was like, I'm done with this.
It is a cool looking car, man, looking at it online.
Yeah, and I'd love to have that back. I had a Chevy Vega as my first car, and that one I don't need back.
We still have my first car, which was a 1988 Honda Civic hatchback, and it was my first car, and then I passed it along to my brother, and now I have a 2.5 or almost 3-year-old brother, and we're kind of trying to see if we can hold off and keep that car running until he turns 15 and a half.
Jeez.
So it could be that's the joke. Like I think it would be awesome if he could have that as his first car too.
But he's going to look at you and go, "Oh, I'm glad you thought it was awesome."
Well, I mean, he loves jumping on it now, so it's like, all right, kid.
Oh yeah,
go
sure.
for it.
When he's 15, he's going to go, "Oh yeah, when I was a toddler, you're absolutely right.
Yeah.
You should base everything I liked 13, 14 years later on my toddler activity."
It's like, hey, this was my car, this was your brother's car, now it's your car, kid.
Yeah. He's going to be like, "There's no interconnectivity for the phone.
No.
There's no fancy gadgets. There's nothing. Thanks.
No,
thanks, sis. You're the best."
Actually, I think there's a CD player in that thing, so it is kind of fancy.
Oh, yeah. I'm sure by the time he's 15, CDs are going to be all over the place.
I mean, it might. Everything is coming back, it seems.
My first car was a Ford Ranger that the gas gauge didn't work, so I had to kind of guess when I was going to run out of gas, and I ran out of gas many times on the freeway.
Congratulations, Danny.
Yeah,
that's a lovely. That's the one thing out of anything in a car you really want that gas gauge to work.
You would think, right? But no. Thanks, Mom.
Yesterday, Steve, he got this one right, but as he's been doing lately, took too many guesses.
Yeah. What is the most malleable metal?
Copper.
No.
Aluminum.
No.
Iron.
No. Marge Simpson.
Gold.
Yep.
Damn it.
So mad.
Damn it.
Yeah. Well, what are you going to do? What are you going to do, Steve, huh? What are you
fail.
Gonna do?
That's what I'm going to do, BJ. Fail.
Yeah. You're going to fail it, buddy. But you know what? You won't fail, will you? You'll get me a song if you call in and beat Steve. 206-421-ROCK. We're playing Beat Miggs. We'll do that at 8:50 on The Rock.
Today's podcast was brought to you by Travis Gagne, bankruptcy attorney. Here's another question from a listener. How long is a bankruptcy going to affect my credit rating?
Of course, most of the time, by the time we're talking about filing a bankruptcy, the credit has already taken a huge hit. Chapter 7 is going to affect it more negatively than Chapter 13. Chapter 7 stays on your credit report for 10 years from the time you file. It usually takes 7 or 8 years for your credit scores to get back into the normal range in a Chapter 7 case. However, your credit will start to recover even in Chapter 7 after about a year. You'll be able to get credit again right away, usually before your case is even over. Chapter 13 stays on your credit report for 7 years and usually takes about 3 or 3.5 years for your credit to get back in the normal range. So Chapter 13 will mean your credit gets better much more rapidly.
Thanks, Travis. If you have more questions about bankruptcy, you can reach out to Travis anytime at choosetherightchapter.com. That's choosetherightchapter.com. Thanks for listening.
Kickstart summer at Lowe's with Memorial Day savings on major appliances like the smart Whirlpool top-load washer featuring the 2-in-1 removable agitator in a color you'll only find at Lowe's. Take it out for bulky items, leave it in for a more thorough clean. You can customize any load, plus skip steps with the Load and Go dispenser. Simply add detergent once and skip the refills. Memorial Day savings start now at Lowe's. Shop in-store or online today.
Take the next step toward the career you want, be it business, cybersecurity, healthcare, or more. UMGC can help you get there. No application fee when you apply by August 31st. Visit umgc.edu. Certified to operate by Chev.
Grandma, we missed you.
Come here, kids. It's so good to see you again. Grandma and I have to catch up. Why don't you play in the other room for a bit?
Okay.
It's good to see you again, Mom. We all missed you.
I'm sorry it took so long. I lost a lot to my gambling problems, but I'm happy to have my life back with you.
We are too, Mom.
If gambling is creating a problem for you, call the Washington State Helpline at 1-800-547-6133 or visit evergreencpg.org.